So, lice is another parasite, okay? But as I say, don't panic, they're species specific. So goat lice is goat lice, sheep lice is sheep lice, and so it goes on. But there are two types. There's biting lice, which is these ones with the big head, right? And then there's blood-sucking lice, which is the ones with the pointed heads. Lice you can see a little bit better because you can actually part the hair and see them. So if you see your goats or your sheep itching, kind of take a look and see what's happening. Because what can happen is, and I just had a little kid at a farm die, he was covered in lice and he was pale. We dewormed him, but somehow we missed the fact that we parted his fur, and I'm talking thousands of lice were on him. All right? So you understand that blood sucking is not only internal, it can be external, and those blood sucking lice can really do a good job on some young kids or lambs. So pay attention to those things. If they're itching, part the fur, take a look and see a little closely if you can see any lice, okay? Other things, you also have your mange, right? There are different types of mange, Sauroptes, Coreoptes, all of these, but that's what the mange lice look like. No, mange mite, looks like under the microscope. That you cannot really see with your open eyes. The lice you can. But the mites, you may, if you're in bright enough light, see something crawling on the skin. And if you can see that many mites crawling, it's pretty high infestation. And again, you have mites that bite, that cause irritation alone, but you also have some that are blood sucking, okay? And if you have mites, you will see something like this. Normally the outer eye is going to be raw and loss of hair on the eye and the ears, right? And it can be pretty significant, like you see here. And I would even caution, depending, in Jamaica we do have screwworm. I think Trinidad has it too, right? And some of the islands, I'm not sure. Yeah. So what happens is, now the mites can cause severe irritation, right? The animal starts to scratch. And then what happens is, especially with the sheep and goats, they scratch on barbed wire, get a cut, and then they get infested with maggots. So it's kind of like you really have to treat it. It can cause severe irritation. And what we did is, again, the specialty with the mange is that you can treat either systemically with ivermectins, and this is what we're doing here, right, on this large farm, where you can give the oral or injectable drench, right? But you also have your topicals, which is your amitraz, the cypermetrins, pyrethrins, right? I kind of like the systemic ones. Why? Huh? It goes through. Topical, unless you can really dip them, especially with the sheep who have some woolly, tough type skin, type hair. How are you getting to the skin to treat it? And there's a rule of thumb, if you can't touch it, you can't treat it. So you could spend all your money on your amitraz and cypermetrins and spray them, but unless you can really dip them, especially the sheep, it doesn't work very well. So what will happen is you'll spray, you'll see some relief for about a week or two, and then they come right back again. Okay? So you've just wasted your time. So I like the systemics from that point of view, because if you drench them and you get them, that's it. However, you still have to repeat in about a week's time, because the systemics only kill the adults and the larvae. They do not kill the eggs. So once you kill the adults and the larvae, the eggs hatch a week later and you start your whole cycle again. So it's a little more labor intensive, but you have to do it where you've set out once every 2 weeks or even 3 weeks sometimes if you want to be sure, and you treat the whole herd. If one gets away from you, you're in trouble. So you really have to take time and do it. Okay? No. Yes, there are different types of mites. Yes, I said there's Sauroptes, Coreoptes, and Sarcoptes. Sarcoptes is the one that can, some mange, by the way, is zoonotic. Meaning it will affect humans. Okay, I'm going to show you something with the mites, right? Now, all of them have this roundish looking body. Some are more round, some are more oblong. But you look at what they call the pedicles, kind of hard to see. It's a little sucker at the end, like a, what do you call those things? You know the toothbrush thing that sucker, suction cups, that's the word I was looking for. Right, so it looks exactly like a suction cup, right? And you have to classify your mite. Is it Corruptes, Soraptes, or Sarcoptes? And why? It depends how you deal with it. But you have to normally do a deep, deep skin scraping until you bleed almost, and you check for it, right? So, and then you check the pedicles. Is it an upright pedicle? Does it have a pedicle? Does it not? The shape of the body. And it tells you which one it is, because you kind of treat them a little differently. If you have scabies, or what they call sarcoptic mange, that is zoonotic. And those animals, meaning it can affect humans, transmitted to humans, and you need to isolate those animals, or probably just... Well, what could happen too with mange, and that's another thing with mange, if you look at this too, if you don't catch it early enough, it actually becomes infected with bacteria and fungal, right? So what would happen is you clear the mange, but if you don't treat with antibiotics and antifungals, it's not, the irritation is there from the irritation of the mite and the scratching, the bacteria and fungus kind of get in the whatever area, and then you have to treat like that too. All right? So there's a whole lot, that's what I say. So the mange itself, not too bad, but it's the secondary stuff that happens with it that can really affect you.